Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to GDSC's YouTube channel. I am Tamanna Khitan, the technical lead of GDSC IGDTUW and your host for the day. And we are back with one more informative session, just as we had promised to all of you during the opening of Autumn of Code session. Now let us know what's Autumn of Code. So GDSC has organized an open source program called Autumn of Code in which you can contribute to repositories for 2 months long, and this is very beginner friendly, so all of you are really encouraged to participate in this. We also have mentors and circle managers to guide you over your project. Now, a lot of you would have surely heard of Google Summer of Code, GSoC, right? And numerous questions would have crossed your curious minds, like what is it about, how can you start contributing to it, is it really beneficial, and many more much. Today we have with us Mr. Govind Goel, a fourth-year BTech undergraduate from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeeth, specializing in electronics and computer science field. He's currently a Beta Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, a mentor at GSoC for 2022 as well as 2020, and a member at FOSS at Amrita. Govind sir has previously interned and has led the Google Developer Students Club at Amritapuri. Due to such amazing contributions and experiences, there can be no one else better than him to get you started with GSoC. Over to you, sir.
Yeah. So everyone. Let's get started with GSoC. So I'll be talking about what is open source and what are opportunities are there, and specifically what is GSoC and how you can get started with it. So so just a little bit about myself. Yes, I have been a GDSC lead myself at Amatapuri. So and then I have been a mentor at Public Lab, so at 2020 and 2022, which was this year. And then what is Public Lab? So Public Lab is basically an open source organization which deals with environment specific issues. So they have projects curated towards environment issues. And then I have worked at Questly like for about 6 months. So and then apart from that, I'm also a beta Microsoft Instrument ambassador. So so let's get started. So basically, what is open source? So open source, basically, open source and specifically, it's like open source software. So when we talk about open source software, so it specifically deals with software which is open and accessible to everyone. Uh, let's say if we say you have used like VLC Media Player or Wikimedia in your daily lives, right? And you use it sort of like daily, weekly. So these softwares are open. You can open in the sense means you can see their code base. So basically, their code base is accessible to everyone. Anyone can access their code base. If you want to if you want to enhance or customize to according to yourself or for the public in general community, so you can do that as well. So that in that sense, it becomes more wide. Yeah. So let's see what is the criteria for open source. So open as in free. So basically, you don't have to pay for that software. So like VLC, Wikimedia, you don't pay anything. And open as in access. So it's not like it's like the access is reserved for only for some regions or only some community members. It's not like that. It's accessible to each and everyone uh, who can access who can access internet basically. And open as in modify. So open as in modify gives us an idea that anyone who has access to that code base or you can modify the software accordingly. And then open as in reuse is like it's like if you want to customize something for only for yourself or you want to change something, so you can customize it and reuse accordingly. So these are the main four criteria for open source. So I'll just repeat. So it's like open as in free. So basically it's free for everyone to use. Open as in access. It's accessible to everyone. Open as in modify that anyone can modify accordingly. And then open as in use. You can actually reuse it according to your needs. So now the question comes like why open source? Like why we need it. So one thing is like everybody cannot pay a hefty amount of sum for like closed source software, which are which you have like set of features and only when you pay. So that's where open source software comes in. Because you get same set of features uh, in free. And then there are several other parameters as well, which makes open source stands out. So there is one. First is quality. If you see, the community which is developing the software, it's very very huge. So definitely you get a the quality product out of it. The second feature or second aspect, you would say, it's security. Definitely, if you have like a wide range of community, you will have like all set of developers around it. Someone expertise in security, someone expertise in developing. So definitely the amount of aspects the product gets to, like the security level checks and all these things. So that's really good point if see in these softwares. Third, we talk about is freedom. So it's like a community. You are not bound to anything or some sort of things like that. So each member of the community has its own freedom to try out and experiment things and suggest like these things can be implemented. So, and fourth, yeah, that's the the biggest of all is like you get access to a wide range of community. So everyone in your community will be you doing something different, or their expertise would be different. So you get to connect with so many people if you start working in any open source community, or any if you start with an open source software. So these are all four aspects that why open source. So quality, security, freedom, and community. So now let's look at how the development model looks like in a general open source community. So if you have most, if you are aware of GitHub, so where most code base sits in for open source communities as well. So like there are two platforms majorly, GitHub and GitLab. So basically what the development model looks like is there are, like, let's say if I am there or anyone else is also there. So I found out some projects which is open source. So you get a question in mind, what to do next. So basically what you will be at that stage is something called as contributor. So like you saw the project, and then now you are willing to contribute towards it. Let's say if I have like, let's say if I talk about public lab, so I have, like, they have their own platform. So if I see, like, I suggest that this can be changed in the platform. So I'll just request for an issue to be created, and then work on that. So basically, a contributor, it's like the core of the community. They are the major, uh, active developers in the community. And then after that, there are people who who approves your contributions, and then time to time review things in the development, or whether it's design, development, security related thing. So after you are done with setting up issues, then you make your first contribution into the project. Then there will be set of people, or there will be in general there are groups formed to so they review all your contributions. And then after your approval, your issues are fixed in that whatever contribution you have made, and then if it's approved by the the assigned person, then it's directly merged to the project. So this is the how development model looks like. So basically first come, so if you are looking to contribute at this stage, so you need, it's like you are the contributor at that point of time, and then there will be n number of contributors along with you. So yeah. So just let's look at sort of somewhat opportunities which are there in some of code programs. So there is like season of docs, season of KD. There is Mozilla Winter Security, Outreachy. Then there is GSoC as well. And then other than that, there is Linux Foundation internships. So if you want to look deep into what all some of code opportunities are there, that will be upcoming, like application dates will be starting from. next year onwards. So you can just go to that repository and take a wide look into that, like what all opportunities you have, and then what's the timeline, so you can list out accordingly. Yeah. So yeah. So now let's come to what is GSoC. We'll like let's go into brief about like what is GSoC. So basically, it stands for Google Summer of Code. So it happens every summer, and then the timeline typically looks like application period starts from March, and it goes around for 2 weeks. You have the application time, then in which you need to select your organization and then apply for that. So basically, so let's what is GSoC? So they're like basically on a root level, if you need to understand. So it's like there are like several organizations who have their projects which are all open source organizations. So more than you know uh, 100 200 organizations that yearly participate in Google Solar Code. They have their projects which they like ask students to contribute to for better development and contributions to the project. So now the next question comes is like who all cannot participate. So anyone like that typically before this year it was only open to students who are doing some course in an university, but now it's changed like anyone can participate in the program. So next is how to look out for the organization. So I'm been talking about there are a lot of organizations that take part like that make projects available in the Google Solar Code. So like let's say there will be different organizations on different domains. So organizations can be in the web domain, it can be on doing mobile development, or it can be doing space research, or it can be doing climate problems. So there will be different organizations based on different scenarios, and they might be trying to solve different sort of problems through their projects. So for best thing would, if you want to look for an organization, is like you go to the GSoC website and then go to GSoC archives. So on archives page, basically you will get all the organizations that have been getting selected from the past 10 years. So you can just go over there, and then you have sort of filters over there as well. Like if you want to filter regarding web domain, security domain, or like mobile development, so you can apply those filters, and then just get a list of what all organizations you have. So next step would be how to apply. So just like let's not go into like the application process, let's come before that. So now you sort of know how you want to look for organizations. So you just need to go to the archives page and then list filter out organizations according to your interest. So that is really important, like you cater organizations according to your interest. So once you boil down the list of 5-10 organizations that you are interested in, so what you should one should do is basically make a sheet or something to list all the organizations. Otherwise, you will keep forgetting what all you shortlisted at. And then it's not it's shortlisting, or maybe like it should be done based on your interest. What you should try, you try to look at the projects that has been done in the last couple of years, and then if the project sort of interests you, then you should go ahead with that. And then you can have a tracker sort of thing with you to like, yeah, you explore the projects. Or it's like it's a good way to start and step into open source software as well. It's not just matter of to apply for GSoC. Like even if you are looking to step into open source, it's like this way also you can do it, because you get to know your interests. And then I'll tell you like what are the benefits, other than like technical aspects are always there if you start contributing to the project, and then you learn a lot of things in that way. But there are some aspects which are non-technical as well. Like you see there's a wide community. So you first thing is you get how you how you present yourself, like you are working on a project in your college or something. So those people, there are, in class, or in your batch, or maybe they're not, so unknown to you. You might meet them, weekly basis, monthly. But how do you present yourself, when you just meet them online? Because it's like you talk mostly over, IRC channels. So I'll come to that also, what is IRC and all these terms are. So you communicate over all these channels, and then how you present yourself, because you are not, physically meeting anyone in that space. So yeah, so these all, non-technical aspects, you get to learn a lot. Like your communication skills, definitely improves. And then you you get rid of a fear of, you like suggesting things. And then you on a, top level, you get an, idea of things, that, how you should discuss something, which is, which is necessary. So yeah, so that is one thing as well, other than technical aspects in this. So after, so you are done with, listing out organizations you want to, which interest you, or the projects which interest you. Like you can list out organizations and boil down it to, the projects which, you are more interested in. Then next step would be, to join their IRC channels. So basically, these days, a lot of organizations use like GitHub metrics, where there's like public chat room. So most of the discussion happens over there. So you can find out, a way to join them. Or other than, if the organization doesn't have that thing, so they might have a mailing list, so in which they give, like, they have the daily updates and sort of things like that. So try actively looking for that, and then join them, and then you will, get a sense of idea, so how things are working on the organization's community. And then after that, you should interact with other people in the community. It should not be, like you just delve into, yeah, I'm assigned to this thing, or I'll just work on these things. So you should communicate properly, along with others as well. So these are, the key points, you should like take note of, if you are like looking into this. And then once you are done with the, or like, if you are, maybe you are doing 4 or 5 projects at a time, then looking into that, like these are all you are interested in. But at the end of time, at end of the, with the application period starts, you can apply at max in 3 projects. But it's like generally good to apply only in like 1 or 2 projects, because considering the time factor and everything, so you like genuinely spend like time on 1 or 2 projects, to, so you get, like, right, do things effectively accordingly. So after that, if you get like get interested in the project, and then the community, you then you have a sense of that, yeah, yeah, so we'll give a shot in this itself. So yeah, then you can start, contributing to the project. And then first step would be, to clone the project, and then try out things in that, and then get a overview of, what is the project about. It must be trying to solve some problem, or it can be a feature, which is used internally or something like that. So try to get a sense of idea of the project and related things, and then discuss in the community as well, regarding that. So these all, points will definitely help you, getting started with, uh, this, getting like, it's like, to actually, I actually do start coding, and then working on the project and Google sort of code. But it takes a, lot of, efforts before that itself. So yeah, so it's not like, like you just start with when the application period comes. But try to, now it's November, right? So try to, start, looking at applications, like from maybe after a week or something. And then, so you have, by the end of November, you have a set of applications or organizations to, to look at. So then you can, take a month or so to explore all those 4 or 5 organizations you have listed out, to, get a better idea of, what you want to start with. And then, in like after that, in January, you can, sense of like definitely get into, like actual contributions with the particular organization to shortlist. So yeah, that way, you would be on track according to the timeline. So yeah, next comes, let's come to how to apply. So basically, if you so it's like the current timeline looks like, the application period will start in, like around end like third week of March, and then it will go around till April 4th. So so you have like 2 weeks to for application. But actually, what GSoC demands is, to you need to write a proposal for your project. So what is this proposal? And then, yeah, so basically proposal is, it's a detailed overview of, how you will be working on the project, like what all issues, like basically when the organizations list out projects, so they will have sort of, key requirements that you need to develop in that, like 3 months. So you need to, brief out everything in the proposal. It's like you need, like, all the issues, how will be, how will you be doing the design, how will you, developing things over period of time. So the proposal should be really, really detailed, but like it should be according to the organization guidelines. So different organization have different guidelines. Some have, like, they have restricted to 7 pages, or some have restricted to 10 pages. Some ask to, maybe more than that. So it should be according to our organization guidelines, that you can, get to know when you start looking at, organizations and things. So that is one thing. And then proposal needs to be really detailed. Like, you need to write concisely, but it should be effectively clear at the end of, down the line. So yeah, that is one thing. And then apart from that, you need to mention, weekly timelines as well in the proposal. So weekly timelines, since it's like, like you break 3 months into week wise, and then for each week you need to, write what all things you will be covering in that particular week. So that is there. So these will be the, these are the key important things to include in the proposal. So basically, if when you, so the 2 weeks you get to apply, so it's like to submit your proposal for the particular project. So for that you need to, like, do a little of things before, the application period actually start. So you should be ready with your draft proposal, and then so the things actually should be done in the way, like, first you go start with the project, make some contributions, you get a sense hold of things, what's the project about, and then yes, you will be able to do it. You will get a sort of confidence, you will be, able to contribute towards the project. Because 3 months, itself is a long time period, with two evaluations in place. So there is one mid evaluation during the 3 months phase, and then there's a final evaluation. So 3 months is a long time period in that sense. And then also then you should be ready with a draft proposal before hand, and then you should give it to you should get it reviewed, maybe from your peers, or maybe if you know someone who has done, GSoC or has been a mentor, you can ask them to review. Or maybe or in your own calls you can ask them to review your draft proposal. So, so after that, when you are done with your draft proposal, so you should work on the feedback, and then plan out things for the final proposal. That should be, that's what, you submit in the application period. So yeah, so I think I've, like, mentioned in detail, like, how to apply, sorry for the program. And then we have covered, what is GSoC, who all can participate, how to look for organization, how to apply. So yeah, now let's look into, like, yesterday 10th there was announcement for the 2023 program. So now let's look into, the key highlights. So it's like it's open to students, and now they have mentioned, it's now open to beginners in open source software development as well. So they have explicitly mentioned this. So if you are, new to open source, so it's like, a good way to start with it. Then there is a project time commitment. So now we have two project time commitment. It's like 175 hours or 50 hours. And now it's like flexibility is increased in project length. So it's like 20 weeks. Not as now it's not a set of 12 weeks for everyone. So it's like customizable according to your needs. So if you want to know more details about, about the program, and then uh, I gave an, a brief overview of, what's looks like, uh, and then so you can just head up to this blog, and then, yeah, get to know more things in detail. Yeah. Yeah, so now let's discuss, the best opportunity to start. So, so basically, Google developed a student club, in the Gandhi Technical University for Women is conducting its very own open source event. So it's like GDSC, IGDTUW, Autumn of Code. So, it's a more,
Right. So, I think I can take over from here. Thank you so
yeah,
much, Govind sir, for all those insights into Google Summer of Code. As you all know, Govind sir has been a mentor, not even like a mentee. He's been there mentoring people through Google Summer of Code, not once but 2 years. So the things he's told you about, the basic pipeline he's given you for application for proposals, these are definitely a lot of key factors to keep in mind. So this is coming from somebody who's been a part of the organization for a big amount of time. So this is something that you should really have a look at and do go over the things you said, because they could really make a difference between you getting selected and not getting selected. And Govind sir has also been associated with GDSC. He was a former lead at his college. So as somebody who understands the system of how open source works and the core values at GDSC, the things he said, the points he's told you about, these are very important things to understand, to look at as good open source contributors. So I hope you all took things away from this, and thank you so much, Govind sir, for giving a brief introduction to our program. So as you know, Google Summer of Code is a little further away, and since y'all are beginners or are trying to get comfortable with open source contributions, one very beginner friendly program that we have right now running at GDSC IGDTUW is GDSC Autumn of Code. Now this is like a very beginner friendly program in which there are several projects that you can contribute to, and we have projects with all tech stacks. So if you're a Flutter developer, or you're into WebD or AR VR, or even game development, we have projects for everything. And even if you're just looking to get comfortable with the contribution pipeline, you're trying to get comfortable with how Git and GitHub works, how to fork repos, then pull changes, then make edits, push your changes to make sure that your PR gets merged, conversing with mentors, and making changes that they suggest you. So basically, if you're not very familiar with how to contribute, so this is also like a great opportunity to learn how to contribute. And as is, it is a good opportunity to hone your development skills and contribute to open source as a whole. So this is very women centric. We have lots of prizes for you, we have lots of mentorship sessions for you throughout, just like the one we're having today. So at every step of the way, you're going to have support, and as a beginner, it is a great opportunity to start. Now moving on to the prizes you'll get, because we want you to contribute and learn but also get rewarded for it. So I think Anmol will tell you about the prizes we have in store for you.
Hello everyone, good evening. So this year we have a lot of prizes for you all. This is a very beginner friendly program and I really want you guys to take advantage of this opportunity and like bag in as many prizes as you can. So every person who makes a successful contribution gets a certificate of appreciation from our side. You can add this to your resumes as well, and like you will get to learn how to contribute in open source and get a certificate for your first successful PR. Like that is a great opportunity. Don't miss this. A certificate will surely add into your resume. Now the next top 25 contributors that we have, they will get swag kits and goodies. Like I said, we have many swags and goodies for all the participants. So the top 25 contributors will be getting swags and goodies. Now the top 10 contributors will not only get the swags and goodies, they'll get a shout out from our side on all our social media handles. We have many social media profiles. We have a social media profile on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. So you can share your handles with us and we'll tag you. So the top three contributors will be monitoring your contributions and then we'll decide the top contributors. So according to your contributions, the top three contributors will get a prize along with the swags and social media shoutouts. So there's a special prize for the top three contributors apart from the swags and goodies that we'll be giving. And since this is a female centric program, in order to motivate all the women to participate in open source, we have a special prize for the top 5 female contributors. So they will get all the swags and goodies and social media shoutouts along with the special prize. So guys, what are you waiting for? Start contributing in GDSC Autonomous Code. I am sharing the link in the chat box and you can start contributing to our website. This is the website where you can go do fill the registration form before contributing because the registration form will help us in monitoring your contributions. Otherwise, it will be difficult for us to keep a track of who's contributing and who's not.
So
So first register, then start contributing, and you'll find links to all our repositories on the website itself. So I've shared the link for the website in the chat box. You guys can go to this website and register yourself and start contributing. The contribution period ends in December, so you have a lot of time to look into all the repositories, identify what you're interested in, what you're not interested in. The contribution does not have to be something very complex. It can be very simple, very easy. You can even contribute to your projects as well. Some very amazing projects will get a chance to be featured on our website as well. We are creating the website for GDSC IGDTUW, and we'll be featuring a few projects on our website. So if you really like your projects, we'll feature them on our website.
right, so I
Arun?
think I can take the questions now. Um, so the first question I can see is GSoC a beginner friendly opportunity? And can Automate Code provide some sort of the same experience? So I think Govind sir can start with how beginner friendly GSoC is and what all requirements do we have for it.
Yeah, so one thing I would say is, like to, get a hang of things, like, for GSoC. So like GSoC, it's like, it's like you have a lot of time, if you consider it like you're starting now. So, this autumn of code, would be a good start if you want to know about it. So that will, actually help you get started. So if see, it's like, it's like it's boiled down to, like if you see the autumn of code, so it's like boiled down to, you can start easily with the, the projects, or if you want to learn nothing, like if you are not familiar, with what is like GitHub, because you need, end of the day, first you need to get familiar with the platforms like GitHub, GitLab, or Git, that is like extensively used. So without that, you cannot start with things, if you are looking at the technical aspects. So if you want to, get started with, so good opportunity, to get started with autonomous code. So and then and on side, what all things I mentioned, when you start looking for organizations, and then have a tracker. So yes, definitely, GSoC is a, beginner friendly, program. Like if I consider myself, so like when I first mentored in, for GSoC, I was in sort of my, first year. So like, what, beginner friendly you expect, so it's, really, it's like the, it's like, every community, welcomes, at the end of that day, you understand things, you understand the project, you understand the community, and most importantly, you should be interested. Interested, it should be, it should be genuine interest. It should not be out, just like a month interest. So otherwise you will not be able to take up the project for a long time. So yeah, so definitely, it's you, if you are new to new to this, or new to, OSS, or you just want to get started. So yeah, definitely you can, give a shot. And but should not be, like you, you expect, things to, go along with you. But but if you, can take, like, consider few aspects, and then, follow the timeline and go along with things, yeah, definitely you can make it.
Okay.
So the
Thank
next
you.
question is from Saloni.
If someone is a
So,
complete beginner with open source, should we still give it a try? Of course, as Govind sir just said, Google Summer of Code welcomes beginners, and he applied in his first year. So, even if you're a freshers, you should apply. You have to submit a proposal for it beforehand, so the preparation period is a bit extensive. So you should start as early as you can. And if you're a complete beginner, there are a lot of programs like the one we're hosting to familiarize yourself with open source. So Google Summer of Code is for everybody, whether a beginner or somebody who's advanced. So nobody should like not apply. You should all apply and take advantage of such great opportunities that Google is providing for you. Google is sponsoring to you. You'll get exposure to so many organizations that operate on a bigger scale. So it's for everybody, beginner or not a beginner. So do apply for Google Summer of Code as well.
The next question is from Kamya. Will we get mentors as I'm not very comfortable and confident in this field?
Of course, Kamya, you'll get mentors. Govind sir, who is a mentor in Google Summer of Code, so I think he'll be able to take it better how the mentor system works and how do you help them with their contributions.
I just wanted
Yeah,
to add that you get mentors in GDSC Autumn of Code as well. So if you're participating in GDSC Autumn of Code and you're stuck somewhere, we have mentors who will help you and guide you. Govind sir, please, you were adding something to it.
yeah. So like yeah. So basically, mentor role is definitely important. In your like in your like the actual role comes in when you start with the project. But actually, definitely the mentor role is like there are already defined mentors for a particular project. If you like look for projects, so there will be sort of assigned mentors to it. So that will be taking care of the project for the whole piece of timeline. So basically, you can easily approach them on the IRC channels and in the public discussion group, or maybe if you just go to GitHub and then you are discussing over the issues, there you can discuss over things over there as well. So it's fine, if you it's like you need, but you need to interact, and then communicate what you have in your mind for a effective communication process. So it's not like you can definitely put out your ideas, what you have in mind regarding regarding the project or just anything what you have. So yeah, it's like it's easy to reach them out and then communicate, but just don't spam them daily. That way anyone can get annoyed, and then these might be people they might have a regular full-time job or something else, and then they are working as an mentor for the project. They're taking out their free time out of from the week. So yeah, you just communicate them weekly sort of things, and then put out your ideas or what you have regarding the project. So yeah, that is not an issue with in any organization.
The next question from Saloni. How can we get started with GDSC Autumn of Code? So we've
So
shared the link for our website. Go to that website. There's a registration form. Fill that first. And then you can see that there are links to our repositories. There are lots of repositories that we have. Choose a repository that you want to contribute to and make a contribution. The contribution can be very simple, very beginner friendly, or if you're very experienced in that field, you can contribute something very complex as well. And
also we
if you,
have
yeah,
resources on the website. We have repository specific resources in each and every repo. So if you want to contribute to a web development project, but you yourself are not very familiar with web development, so we have resources for you to learn web development in the repositories itself. So visit our website, go through all the repositories. There are resources on how to contribute to repos, how to work with GitHub, how to work with the tech stack that you're contributing to. So visit our website, go to our GitHub. There's everything laid out for you. There's a perfect plan. So you just have to register and start contributing.
even no code contributions are allowed. Like if you want to contribute in the form of designs, you can contribute your designs as well, the UI section as well. So you can contribute in that repository as well. Anything and everything is welcome. So whatever you're comfortable with, you can contribute.
Also, if you just want to update documentation, like we have projects with we don't really have documentation, even or even if you just want to update readmes, you can add screenshots of the project so that other people can understand them better. Maybe you can add comments to the code so that other people can read the code which we have available. So any form of contribution is welcome. All you can do is open an issue as to however you want to contribute. There is no limit to opening an issue. You can contribute in any way. So just go to our website, register, and get started.
We also have a video on how to contribute, how to create an issue, and we also took a session about that. So if you need any help, you can even get help from our Discord channel as well. We have a Discord server and there's a doubts section. You can ask all your doubts there, and our mentors will be happy to help you.
Right. When will the mentors be allotted for Autumn of Code? So for Autumn of Code, whatever repository you're contributing to on Discord, you'll find channels for it. And the repository maintainers are going to guide you through contribution as well as the tech stack. So whatever repo you're contributing to, just make sure that you tag the maintainer or the mentor of that repo on Discord. Right. The next question is GSoC beginner friendly? I
We
think
already
Govind sir already
answered.
covered it. Um, the next question I can see is Filza, how to contribute as a fresher. So I think we just covered that. Go to our website and you'll have all the resources and the repositories there. The next question is Saloni Gupta, how to be a top contributor in GDSC Autumn Sport. I love this question. This is the attitude we should be moving forward with.
I really want you to be the top contributor.
We are rooting for you, Saloni. So, in order to be a top contributor, you have to make PRs. So, we are going to be judging the number of PRs you make, the number of changes you make. Also, not just any PR, we're also going to be judging the amount of code you added or omitted or what all new issues you raised. So, it's not just if you make 10 PRs, one line each, it's not going to work like that.
Yeah,
We're going
I'll just say like three. I'll give you three words. How can you be the top contributor in that? So it will be contribute, communicate, and
to,
then repeat. So if you
that's
follow these three things, so you already you will in the top list or something, whatever you want to.
Thank you for that, sir. So, contribute, be an active part of the program, be present, be involved with projects, and you'll get so many goodies as a top contributor. Now, the next
The
question
next
we have.
question is from Karash. No, it's not only for girls. This is women centric, but like boys can also participate. This is not limited to girls or IGDTUW. Anybody from anywhere can participate in this program and make contributions. You're all welcome to participate and you'll get swags and goodies.
Right. The next question is from Khyati Verma. What are the prerequisites? So, for the prerequisites for Autumn of Code is absolutely nothing. It's just your will and your passion to contribute to open source and be a part of this lively community in which we support each other. And there are resources available on our website for you to learn and contribute. Now, since the question is quite ambiguous, let's just cover the prerequisites for Google Summer of Code
Yeah.
also. So, I think Govind sir can take that.
Yeah, so like prerequisites for GSoC, it's like first you should be sure that you definitely want to get started. It's because you need to commit a lot of time for that, and then because see GSoC itself is a 3 months long time period, and then before that also you need to put a certain amount of time to things have if you want to things happen according to you. So prerequisites would be as I mentioned so it would be uh, you know choose a project which genuinely interests you. It should not be just it should not be like if you see a project and then yeah you see it's good it's working on, and then it should not be like that. You should definitely go into because down the line you will be working on that project for around 3 months. So that's how you should plan it. So first prerequisite, plan, choose your project or an organization very seriously, because that is that's the whole idea is about here, right? So if you don't you if you if you like genuinely like the project, or so you it's not you will be seamlessly working on it for whatever amount of time is required. So that is one prerequisite, and then second would be to understand all the technical aspects, because there will be things it's like it's not it would not be like someone is always there to teach you something if some issue came up or something like that. So you will be clear with like some bit of technical aspects in the domain you are trying to get things done. So and then other thing would be communicate effectively with your mentors and then in your community whenever you get started with the organization. So yeah, these would be the three sort of 2 3 prerequisites you should have in mind.
The next question is from Shefali. He's asking, I'm a fresher at IGDTUW and I'm not completely familiar with coding languages, not even one, and GitHub. So can I join? Yes, Shefali, you can join. If you're familiar with designing, you can contribute in the form of UI. You can add to our UI repository. You can contribute in the form of designs. And as Parul said, you can even make contributions in the README file in the form of documentation as well if you're familiar with something. So no code and low code contributions are also allowed for people who are not familiar with coding.
Also, if you're really interested and you're okay with learning just a little bit, you can learn some basic HTML. And we have all the resources in our repo, so you can quickly learn a tech stack and contribute to that as well. And I feel even if you're not familiar with everything, the best way to learn development is by doing a project. So, like, fork one of our repos, download those changes, try to understand the code and learn simultaneously. So as a fresher, if you're not very familiar with coding languages, Google Summer of Code will be a little bit advanced for you, so you can learn and prepare for that. But Autumn of Code would be the perfect opportunity for you to start your open source journey. So do keep in touch
In
and
fact,
keep your sessions. And even if at the end of the day you're able to make very little contributions, the fact that you're here, you're learning, you'll just gain so much, and you'll learn about version control and all these things. So you will gain a lot.
okay, so the next question we have is for Govind sir. How can we crack GSoC in first year?
Yeah, so like as soon as you have like all the prerequisites and all sort of things which you need to keep on mind. You so all those things, if you plan things accordingly and then get started with, so it's like it's not an issue. See, there's it's not now. If you see, it's like in first year. So what is the issue? If you are even you're starting first year, you can do things which people might do at a later point, or you might be also doing it in a second year, third year, or whatever time. Like so all everyone needs to get through the same amount of work and needs to do the same amount of work and then do things. So yeah, that's not definitely it's not an issue if you want to start in the first year, because like from considering, if I give my example, so I started in my first year itself. So like it was the same timeline. I started looking to open source in like November December timeline, and then I found out that organization called Public Hub, and then I really like their like different ways to welcome new contributors into the org. So that's how I get started. So yeah, like if you don't really want to get started, so best opportunity you get idea of things from Autumn of Code, and you can apply same sort of things to apply in GSoC at a later stage down the line. So good thing would be you if you can just take a week or something, and then find out your interest, where it lies, and it's like and then try to answer questions like is GSoC really, if you want to do it or not, and then get started with it. So take a week or so for these things, and then yeah, you can start.
The next question is also for you, sir. How to write the perfect proposal?
See, like it's like it's a very tough question to answer, because like see, the proposal is something. It's not like it's not reviewed by a single person. There are like 4 or 5 people, or there are 4 or 5 mentors, who review your proposal. So everyone compiles it in a different way, and then they have their different sort of opinion. Maybe someone like some approach, but maybe some other mentor might question that approach. So it's like uh, sort of tough to say what would be a perfect proposal, but but definitely we can say that if your proposal is like a uh, to the point, what you say. So if you have like explain things to the point, and then you have the brief timeline. So like it should be if I read your proposal or anyone else read your proposal, they should get in a whole overview. Yeah, this he or she will do the project in the required time, and then yeah, he has covered all the things, or he or she knows what things are there in the project. He has like definitely gone into the roots of the project. So that should be there if someone needs a purpose. So if you are able to do that sort of thing, then yeah, it's definitely best proposal or good proposal, whatever you want to look out for.
The next question is from Kamya. Can participating in Autumn of Code prepare me enough to contribute to even bigger programs? Yes, Kamya. In fact, the very reason we started thinking about an open source program, the very reason we are doing this entire program is to prepare you guys, to help you understand how to participate and how to contribute in any open source program. Because usually people, for beginners, the very first program gets half of the time gets wasted in understanding the procedure, that how to contribute, how to work with Git and GitHub, how to identify repositories, how to identify what to contribute. So this opportunity will help you in understanding how to participate in an open source program, and this is very beginner friendly. So you'll get help from our mentors in each and every step. So a few people have been asking for the link to our Discord server. I'll share it in the chat box. So this is the link to our Discord server. You can join the server, and you will find our mentors here who will be happy to take your doubts. We'll even post resources here on our Discord channels as well.
Also, our Discord server is linked on our website and in every single repo, so you can reach out at us from anywhere.
Some people have been asking if we'll get mentorship through Discord. Yes, you'll get mentorship through Discord only. There's
Do you
no
want
other platform where we'll be connecting with you. You'll get mentorship only on Discord, and you can ask doubts on our servers. Our mentors will be there. So they'll help you out on Discord. How
right?
to make projects from first year.
So, Mahita, in order to make projects, first you need to learn tech. And to learn tech, you have to, just really start with the basics, figure out what you like, what you don't like. Through Autumn of Code, you can explore a lot since we're covering all tech stacks. At
And we're even
GDS,
sharing references.
So, like, as part of Autumn of Code, you can look at the various tech there is for you to explore. There is web dev, there is Flutter, there's app dev, there is AR, VR, there's game development. So there's a lot there. There's even UI UX. So, to make projects, you have to learn tech first, and Autumn of Code does provide you a good opportunity to start from somewhere. So you can check that out.
The next question is for Govind sir. Can they connect with you on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. Like if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn or like want to follow on GitHub or Twitter, so yeah, you can reach me out over there. No issue with that.
I don't think we have any more questions in the chat box, and we are almost coming close to our closing time. So I think that is all for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you so much, Govind sir, for joining and for such an amazing session. This was so informative, and I am sure all the beginners over here learned a lot. They had so many doubts and questions. We were constantly getting so many questions about how to participate in other open source programs, how to participate in GSoC, what to do. And like I think today a lot of clarity came to all the people who were having doubts about it. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much for joining.
Thanks for inviting me. Provide so I could interact with. and answer some questions. So yeah, still if someone feels you can't you were not able to ask your doubts or something, so you can just send a message on LinkedIn. So that would be I would definitely answer over there. Yeah, yeah. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for the enlightening session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We'll be coming back with more amazing sessions for you guys. Thank you so much.